Welcome back, guys, to the podcast. It's your girl SJ, and I'm here with my homie,
Jeff.
and together we are the Popcorn Patrol podcast. Today we have a holiday movie for you, and it is called Violent Night, starring David Harbour. So stick around as we get into it.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening, a beautiful sight.
Let me just give you a little brief synopsis, a little skinny on this movie. Basically, an elite team of mercenaries breaks into a family compound on Christmas Eve, taking everyone hostage inside. However, they aren't prepared for the surprise combatant. Santa Claus is on the grounds, and he is about to show why this Nick is no saint. Jeff, what do you got?
Well, I got Violent Night. Had a budget of $20 million. I was a little bit surprised to see it kind of be that low, but I guess that makes sense, I guess. Box office was 76 million, pretty good. The director was Tommy Wirkola, and it was written by Pat Casey and Josh Miller. And it, like you said, it stars David Harbour, John Leguizamo, and Beverly D'Angelo.
Right. Okay.
And it was released in 2022.
2022. Okay.
Yeah.
So that would have been after COVID. That would have been last year.
Yeah, last
Yeah.
year.
Okay. Okay. So should we get into the popcorn paradise of this movie? All right. I think you should start this one off. What do you got?
Okay. First of all, this movie lives up to its name. This movie is violent. It's not like, I don't know how to explain it really. It's not super gory, but it's gory enough. It's gory enough that it's fun to watch, but not gory enough for it to be like an actual like horror movie, in my opinion. But
Sure.
it lives up to its name nonetheless. One of the
Okay.
things I really liked was the list. He would pull it. I love how it was a mix of old technology. It was like a scroll that he opened up, and he would see on the list. I guess he could just think the name of the person, or maybe it's the people around him. But
Yeah,
he
it
would
was like
think
a
the list.
real-time list. Like
Yeah.
it was changing with whatever was going on.
Yeah,
Like,
and he could see, okay, well, those guys are the bad guys. They're on the naughty list, and it would be like
right.
red writing, and it'd be like naughty list, and if he, looked at someone on the good list, then it would say, a nice list, and it would be in like gold writing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that visual was great. I loved that.
Yeah.
The other thing that I really liked about this movie was the one-liners. The one-liners in
There
this
were some
movie
good
were
one-liners.
like, he's on the phone with John Leguizamo, and basically they're kind of like threaten each other, and he finishes the phone call off with "Santa Claus is coming to town," and it was just like, this is so cheesy and amazing. I loved it. Time for seasons beatings. He's sneaking up on the one girl, and he's just like, "Here comes Santa Claus."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they were so good. There was a point where the young lady asked Santa what he was going to do with the naughty list, and or like the people on the naughty list, and he said that he was going to give the lump of coal and
Yeah.
get up their butt.
Yeah, and they went through the whole, like, she's not supposed to say what she
Yeah,
said, and
kind of gives her a
yeah.
little crap, and then she fixes it, like says,
Yeah.
"This," and that was okay. Like,
Yeah, it was
or anus
acceptable,
or something,
passable.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like the concept of this movie. Like, I didn't expect it because I went in blind again. Like, I didn't see previews, didn't even know. Like, you suggested it, so I watched it.
Yep.
I didn't. You see him at the beginning, and you're like, oh yeah, it's a mall Santa getting drunk. Here we go, 'tis the season. And then
He's got
you
the
actually
jokes.
he's got the jokes, and he's
Like the
kind
waitress
of
asks him, like, "You're not driving," after
right.
his like fifth or sixth beer, and he's like, "I
The
do a little bit of
reindeer.
steering, but the reindeer do most of the driving."
Yeah. Yeah, I like the jokes in this movie. They were funny.
Oh yeah.
Like they were funny. I'll give them that. Um yeah, and then we see he's talking to the guy at the bar, and he's quite cordial with him, and but he just looks a little downtrodden. He's a worn out Santa,
Yeah.
um from all the unchristmassy type things happening in the world. Very jaded Santa, if you will. Um, it was gross when
Almost
he
cynical, right?
very
Yeah.
cynical.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know where it was going, I
Yeah.
guess is what I was trying to say. Is like I was a little confused about where it was going. And then throughout the movie, um, I wasn't too sure, but he had good jokes, and there is a story, like there is a proper progression of a storyline throughout the film. Um, yeah, I really like David Harbour in this role. And I really like the family, the little mixed family there.
Yeah.
I really think they made this movie. John Leguizamo, he was great as well, but I mean, he was okay. But I think the David Harbour and the kids, um, uh, Trudy and her little family, I think they're what made this movie good,
I think
decent.
they provide the emotional attachment to
Yeah,
the
and
movie, right? Like the
right.
rest of the people, everyone
No,
in that
they're vile. They're
everyone in
awful.
that movie other than that little family and maybe the Santa Claus,
Yeah.
the rest of the people are not likable at all.
No,
Can't relate to them.
absolutely not.
They're
And I think,
irritating. They're terrible people in general.
oh, the sister, she
Oh,
was awful. And then
yes.
she's like, take a video of me kissing in front of my son. What? What? I didn't get that at all. I was like, why? I don't,
Yeah.
but I guess that's the whole point of her character. She's very
Yeah.
narcissistic or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and the mother was pretty vile as well. I mean, pretty hard, like, businesswoman type, but like beyond, like just very rude and vile. Um, I'll save that for my popcorn prison. But no, I really I like this movie was like Home Alone on crack, you know? Like there was a lot going on in it. There was, they even reference Home Alone, like
And
Trudy,
they had the Home Alone booby traps.
they had the Home
Oh yeah.
Alone booby traps. That's what I'm saying. This movie is like Home Alone on crack. It went off. Like, I thought the music fit with the movie as well. I felt like all the little pieces of music, it was very Christmassy still, even though things were happening that aren't so Christmassy, but they still had that, like a little jingle bell going in the background. Um, yeah, and that house was crazy. Like wherever they were filming, I don't know whose house that is. That's someone's real house. And it was pretty amazing. And, you see them cut like when at the beginning, you see them cut into the caterers working in the house, and you think it's just like a regular party. You don't think anything of it really. And everyone's being like rude to the help and all that stuff. And then eventually you kind of figure out what's going on. You kind of see, okay, oh, okay, wait a minute. These guys are trying to do a heist.
Yeah.
Like they're trying something here. So I kind of like that. They didn't like give it away right at the beginning. They kind of like, there was a progression to it. Um, yeah. Do you have anything else for Popcorn Paradise?
I could go on and on about it.
Yeah.
There was
So
lots of good parts to this movie.
there
Yeah.
was. Should we go on to the popcorn
Sure. What do you got
prison?
what do you got for the popcorn prison? Prison.
Okay, I did not like that they killed Al. Al was so nice. I was like, I wanted to see more Al, and they killed him. You know who Al is, right?
No idea.
Al is the guard at the gates.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "No, not Al, please
Yeah.
come
Okay.
back."
Yep.
Um, and I could not like the violent Santa parts, I had a really hard time with. I just felt like it wasn't in the spirit of Christmas. And when I watch a Christmas movie, I want to feel Christmassy. And I didn't feel Christmassy enough. Like I just felt like I know it, I know the angle they were taking, but
Yeah.
my it just didn't wasn't giving Christmas, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
um
I
and
feel you on
also
that. I think
yeah.
that I could stretch my imagination enough for him to be violent when it comes to saving a child,
Mhm.
but I think the whole Viking red hammer thing was just a little bit much. They
So
didn't need to
here's
introduce that, but
no, and here's the thing. This I have that in my notes actually. I would have loved to see just a movie with that part of Santa. I would
oh,
have watched a whole movie like that.
like a Santa prequel?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but like you said, they introduced it just to give him kind of a way to explain why how he can be so violent.
Right, exactly.
It
I
was
think they
like a
should have just ran with
device.
the magic. They could have easily
Right.
just ran with the magic and the fact that there's a little girl in this house that he's trying to protect
Right.
because, Santa's there for the kids, right?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So
absolutely.
I had a real hard time with that. Also I wish they if they were gonna do that Nickerman the Red or whatever, they should have gave him like a whole backstory, like a more of a backstory in
Sure.
detail. But it would have been irrelevant to what was
Right.
happening
Yeah.
now. So that's what I'm saying. Like I wish they would have gone one way or the other kind of thing if they were whatever they were trying to do there. Um, Also, the amount of people in this group of criminals, how much money are they really gonna get when you split it all? Because it was a huge operation, like hundreds of people in this operation.
There's no there's no way that the amount of money that at the end by the end of the movie, it was 2 duffel bags of money.
Yeah, I know.
And
And then they were burning it.
there was no way there was $300 million in those 2 duffel bags. I seen a picture one time and it was like, this is what $10 million looks like. And it
Right.
literally was like 6 skids of bills.
Like bills.
Yeah.
Right. And they had like 4 duffel bags packed in like hay bales.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, sure.
My popcorn
Um,
prison for this one was it's not that I felt like the movie was too long. The
mhm,
length of it was great. I just felt that uh once they once they finished the nativity scene part of it where the money was in the bales of hay,
right.
once they resolved that part, that would have been a perfect spot to end the movie, I thought. I
Yeah, yeah,
didn't
yeah, yeah.
need I didn't need this snowmobile chase. It was all right, but I don't know. It was to me those car chases and snowmobile chases where they cut through different things like different roads and to eventually get ahead of the person
Right.
where they don't really know where they're going. Like, is it only like any of the trails I've ever been on or the roads I've ever been on?
Or
There's always
pretty
multiple ways
straight.
to go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, it's never okay. You got this. It's like a train
One
rail
veers
for a
off this
hundred
way.
kilometers. It's never usually that way, right?
Yeah,
Eventually, you get to a spot where there's, and yeah, I don't know. I just never liked those kind of scenes. So for me, I felt like the movie could have done without that. That's really
yeah,
my only issue. And you know what? I picked that as an issue so that I had an issue. Like
right.
it's not something that I'm like, oh, that ruined the movie for me. No, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was neat to get that interaction with John Leguizamo's character and
Yeah, yeah, of
David
course. I
Harbour's
mean,
character, where basically John Leguizamo hated Santa because he didn't get what he wanted one year for Christmas, and
yeah, and
it,
there's that thing. There's that device where you have a bad guy and they
yeah,
have a like mental motive, like a motive
Yes.
that doesn't make like it's so
Yes.
simple, simplistic, like
Why can't the guy just be greedy and wanted the $300 million? Right?
right.
Like he
Mhm.
doesn't have to
I
hate
agree.
Christmas too.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like, I'm gonna uh kill Christmas or
It's gonna be a
basically,
great
and it's
night because when I kill you, that's gonna kill the stupid Christmas holiday
I was
forever.
like, dude, you have first world problems. Get over
Yeah,
yourself. Like,
yeah,
go get a job, a real job. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So, I had problem with that. Also, the like this movie was like super violent for me. It was way worse than Friday 13th. Like
Yes.
every time I saw it, I was like I cringed at every I had closed my eyes for some. I was like,
Oh
oh
yeah.
yeah, it's like too much. And I don't know that it added anything. I mean, there were certain parts where it did, but like most of the time I was like, okay, they could have done without it as a little extra, but yeah, and everyone got ganked in this movie. No one was safe. It was like Game of Thrones out there. Like everyone was
Yeah.
going down. Yeah, so I mean, those were my popcorn prisons.
All right.
Um,
So you good to rate this movie then?
yeah, I mean, would I watch this movie again? No, I'm not watching it again. I'm sorry, Jeff.
That's okay.
Um, but was it an okay watch? Yeah. So my popcorn rating is actually a medium popcorn because
Okay.
I would watch it um once. I wouldn't watch it again.
Hmm.
It had some humor in it. It was entertaining a little bit. Like, it's just not my cup of tea for a holiday movie. For any other movie, I would probably be fine with it, but for a Christmas movie or a holiday movie, it just doesn't give me the feels that I want a holiday movie to give
Oh,
me.
that's respectable. Not
Yeah.
yeah, that's completely respectable.
How about
I
you, Jeff?
I'm giving this a solid large popcorn. Uh,
Okay.
I save the extra large for just movies that have the magic, and this one doesn't really have the magic. Great to watch. It'll definitely be in my Christmas rotation every year. I love this movie. My wife seemed to think that we watched it last year together, but
Was it out?
I
Oh
did
yeah.
not find any scenes in that movie familiar. When I told
Mhm.
her that we were going to review this movie, she's like, "The movie sucked. You didn't like it." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Yeah, you thought it was stupid." And I'm like, "I've never watched that movie before." And she's like, "Yeah, we watched it last year." And I'm like, "No, we didn't." And
Hmm.
we argued about it, and then I watched it, and not a single second of that movie felt familiar. I had never seen that movie before. She's crazy, but she's cray cray. But anyway, it'll be
That's
in my
funny.
regular Christmas rotation every year. It was for me. It was a fantastic movie. Loved it, and it was just a great movie.
All right, you heard it. Jeff loves the movie. He's giving it large, and me, it was so. I'm giving it a medium. Definitely check it out once. Doesn't hurt. Um, I just didn't feel. I didn't feel in my spirit, so I couldn't give this one more than a medium. But before we wrap things up, you know what time it is.
Oh
So
yeah, let's
it's
hear
the
it.
gift that keeps giving.
Oh yeah.
Okay, here goes. Why don't you ever see Santa in the hospital? Because he has private elf care.
I like
Y-
that one. That was a good one.
Yes, yes, yes,
I like that
yes.
one. That was a good one. Yeah,
Thanks. I tried. I tried
that was a
this
good
time.
one.
I really did. I'm trying every time. I'm like, if I can get a chuckle out of you, then I'm winning.
That's great.
See,
I
yeah,
chuckle at most of them. Like it's
I
yeah.
know.
Well, that
Yeah,
was a
no,
good
but that
one.
was a good one.
I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
one. I'll make sure I tell my kids that one.
Yeah, please do. Please share it.
Will do.
Um, guys, thanks so much for watching. Jeff, tell them where the lovely people where they can
You
find
can find
us.
us on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can find us on Spotify. We have a video podcast is hosted there as well as YouTube, and we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Pretty much all the social media platforms.
Yeah, so guys, please continue to watch and like and subscribe and do all that fun stuff. And next week is another holiday movie, and we hope that you'll stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Popcorn Patrol out. Peace.